my mic worked. There we go. Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Everton 1, Newcastle United 4. Yeah, I honestly don't think there's any point in breaking down the individuals. That was absolutely shambolic, wasn't it? It was absolutely shambolic. There is absolutely no fight in this team whatsoever. Yeah, that was incredibly bad tonight. After all the build up, after all the talk, the coach, the players, Wobie and Damari Gray telling everyone to bring the flares and all that, and that's the kind of performance that they repay the fans with. It was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. The club top to bottom is just finished, isn't it? It's an absolute mess. And tonight showed that. I mean, I didn't get angry. I'm not going to get angry on this video. I find it quite funny that it's that this team is incapable of scoring goals for the money that has been spent in the last 7 years. Literally got a team that can't score goals. Players have gone backwards. Ben Godfrey, for an example, he was absolutely woeful. Like he didn't understand how to play football. Like, he really did not understand how to play football. And there's a few of them on the pitch. There's Michael Keane is horrendous. How Yerry Mina does not get a game over Michael Keane. Like, I'd retire if I was Yerry Mina. If Michael Keane was playing ahead of me, I'd just retire. Although he's on a very large amount of money to do very little, but I'd just retire because I just think that's embarrassing. He's an embarrassing footballer. Michalenko isn't a very good footballer. Garner can't really get around the pitch too much. Onana is a bit of a cheerleader. Decore didn't look anywhere near it tonight, on it at all. Looked like he was rusty as hell. Wobie flashed a couple of moments, a few little nice moments, but not much more than that. Dwight McNeil obviously scored, but there's no quality there. Dom, isolated, looked like he couldn't wait to get off, but maybe that's because he was, I don't know, maybe he knew it was the right time to go off with everything going on. The manager, I'll never understand the manager who, I really don't understand the manager who waits to make an attack and sub when you're 3-0 down. Like, Mopai was warming up at 1-0. On the 70th minute was warming up, and he'd come on when they got their third. Why do managers do this? He's not just Sean Dyche. Frank, Lampard before him, other managers before him. Why did he do it? Why isn't Nathan Patterson playing right back? He's a right back. How bad does he have to be that Ben Godfrey gets in the team ahead of him? Why are you trying to play centre backs at full back when we have to win games of football? Like, we have to win games of football. Like tonight at 1-0, after like 55 minutes, you've got to be looking to make a change to win the game. Like on Saturday against Palace. The problem with Sean Dyche is, right, he has a way and a style to grind the team out, grind the way out of it. But once you go 1-0 down, it pretty much destroys any notion of that solution. And like on Saturday tonight, after 55 minutes, an hour, you've got to make a change. You've got to change the way the game is going. I get the school of thought of like stay in the game as long as you can, but the Fulham game, Saturday's game, tonight's game, we've been blown out of the water very, very quickly. Heads drop, and the game's gone. Especially, confidence-wise, you must be playing the game thinking, if you go 1-0 down, thinking, we've got to get 2 here. At Goodison Park, we've only scored more than 1 goal in a game once. You imagine the confidence, the confidence issues that must cause. Of course it does. The human beings, it will cause a confidence issue. But you have to, especially when you're at home. Fulham, to me, was a marker that you're playing a team that don't really care. They're on the beach. And Palace were similar on Saturday after an hour. It's just a game of footy. It's not intense. There's no intensity. Tonight we started with loads of intensity, and it was good, and it was lively, and we were on the front foot, and it gets the crowd going. But then Newcastle just go and score, don't they? They go and score, and that takes the wind out the stadium. It doesn't mean the atmosphere dies. It just takes, you feel like you've been punched in the gut, and it takes a little bit of the atmosphere, because then you're nervous. Then everyone's nervous. Personally, I've just been watching the goals there, but I watched Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal that got disallowed. How can you make a decision on that angle? I don't get that. I don't get how you can make that decision on that angle. I really don't. You look at John Stones' last night, and you look at that, and I'd love to know how one is a goal and one isn't a goal. But for me, you're 1-0 down, you get to the hour. For me, you've got to make something change. Whether that's maybe bringing Gray on, sacrificing one of your midfielders in centre midfield, maybe take Garner off or whatever. Got to make a change. And he doesn't, and he waits. And literally just before they got their second, Mopai's getting a drink, and they score, and then the next, before you know it, we're 3-0 down. The game's gone, and then he brings Mopai on, and you look really stupid then as a manager. You look really, really stupid. And we've seen that quite often from Dyche. For me, after this season, I wouldn't continue with Dyche. People might think that's harsh, but I wouldn't, because to me, it's all that kind of safe kind of football. Look at Burnley moved on from it. I think it's not good enough. And don't get me wrong, I don't blame them. The team is horrific. The footballing team is horrific, by the way. It's horrific. It's all fair coat, no knickers. It really is. I continually after all right, don't have to, but I continually speak to people, and I get this sense that people think it's a good side. It's not a good side. The right back is crap. The right back who played tonight, the left back is crap. The centre defenders, Tarkowski's all right, but he's not great. Midfield, Onana's might end up being a good player. The Corey's hot and cold. Garner does his best, and I do appreciate what Garner does, but he doesn't get round the pitch well. Iwobi baffles me. Absolutely baffles me as a footballer. Absolutely baffles me. Dwight McNeil, very, very limited footballer. But fair play to him under Dyche. He has chipped in and he scored goals. Certainly, I think he scored in the last 3 Everton games, not home games. Dom can't be relied on. By the time you get him warmed up to the level, he's out injured again. There's nothing on the bench. Yeah. I to be honest, I've just looked at the goals, and I can't. The second goal and the third goal. No, sorry, the fourth goal. Jesus Christ! What is the first goal? What is Ben Godfrey doing? What is Iwobi doing? Why is Jordan Pickford pushing the ball out back into the box? The second goal, dear Lord, Ben Godfrey, what are you doing? You're supposed to be fast, and the lad has done you with the ball. The third goal, the time and space that Bruno has to run through the middle of the park is just ridiculous. And then he puts it top in. Fair enough. The fourth goal, Isaac, I don't care who you're at. I don't care if you're Messi. I don't care if you're Ronaldo. I don't care if you're Mbappe. Nobody walks along the line and does that to three players in professional football. No, if you've got any pride about you, you just double up and you just push them over the line. It's absolutely Michael Keane and Ben Godfrey. Hang your head in shame for that goal. Absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And then I've just listened to the manager, and he must have been watching another game, and the lad who interviewed him must have been watching another game, because Jesus Christ, talking like we were amazing. Oh, until the goal went in. What game were you watching? We had one shot on target in the second half. The only time Iwobi showed any kind of bollocks and threw one of their players over when he tried to pull his shirt. And then Dom hits the goalie. But we are bad. We are so bad. It's unbelievable. And I think we will get relegated. I think we're so bad we'll get relegated. We're not relegated. There's still games to play. There's still a huge game on Monday. But I just watched the team give up tonight. I just watched a team give up. Simple as that. It just give up. The second goal is embarrassing. Imagine being 1-0 in a game, hanging on for dear life just to try and get something. You haven't made any changes, so you haven't gone for it. And to see a lad just basically just walk past you and then put it in the box, and then Joe Linton be under no pressure and just heads it in. That's embarrassing. Their team was full of life. It was full of pace. It had a little bit of, whether we liked it or not, they were street smart. They were going down. They were wasting time. It's all horrible, but it's all stuff we do. It's all stuff we do. If we were in a game and you needed to get the crowd quiet, of course you would. It's horrible when you're on the other side of it, but it's good when it's your team and you're watching your team do that. It's brilliant. It's clever. It's what you want to see. It's good. It's game shit. It's too easy. Far too easy. It's 1 win in 10. As I said, the manager, unless he pulls off an unbelievable, wins 5 games or wins 3 of the 5 and he keeps us up, I wouldn't keep the manager. I've not seen enough, and I know that might upset a few people, and it might be like, oh, you're second another manager. No, I'd just get rid of him, because I'd get rid of him and I'd bring someone in who's got a long-term vision of turning this club round. That might be difficult going, but look what Burnley did. Burnley bombed them out and went and got Vincent Kompany, and he brought in a load of new players, and now they play great football and they've been promoted, and it's all sound. I'm not saying that would happen to Everton, by the way. It's not that easy, especially with this situation we're facing with financial problems. But I would I would look to change it up. Personally, and maybe people might laugh at me for this, but I would look at Graham Potter and say this is a long-term thing and get good people in. Of course, this is determined by who is at the club next season in terms of the ownership. Excuse me, the ownership all have to be bombed. The board and everything. But I would look to do that. Sean Dyche, it's Sean Dyche to get rid of him in the summer. It won't be a big payoff or anything. He's on he's on a big bonus to keep us in the Premier League. I don't think it would be a big thing to get rid of him. I don't look at him and just go, oh, he's the man to take us forward, and it's just the players. I look at him and just go, you are limited. You're limited in what you do. I've said this loads of times. When you're playing poorly, you've got to be winning games. It's as simple as that. When you're not a very good team and the football's terrible to watch, you better be winning games of football. It's that simple. Fans can put up with awful football if you're winning games of football. If it's effective. This isn't effective. Players aren't developing. No one's improved under this manager, maybe apart from Dwight McNeil. And all he's doing is playing every week. No one has improved. Look at Eddie Howe's team. Every single one of Eddie Howe's players has improved underneath him. And fair play. They give him a chance, and he grabbed it with both hands. Brilliant. He's done brilliantly. I just don't see that. I'm not having a go Sean Dyche, but I'm not sitting here going, he's terrible. What I'm saying is from an Everton point of view, if we go down, I think we have to start again completely. And you have to give it to someone who's got like a long-term vision. And I just don't see that with Sean Dyche. I just don't. He's a limited manager. Players don't get better with him. We have to start looking long term. We can't be going from, one disaster to the next disaster. We have to look long term, and that's getting a proper coaching. A proper coach who will work with players every single day. And I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand that it's like you're going from from one fire to the next fire with Everton. I appreciate that. Sean Dyche is doing the job he's been asked to do, just try and keep us in the Premier League. It's not working, but I don't blame Sean Dyche, not by any means. No one should get that impression. By the way, I'm not having to go Sean Dyche. He's got a very limited set of players. They are absolutely horrendous. This is a collection. I said it in the match preview. This is just a collection of they're like FIFA players in terms that they've got no personality and they're all one-dimensional. Although, the graphics on FIFA are quite good now. There's nothing about them. They don't look like a unit. They don't look particularly. They don't work together. The players don't fit together. Like Onana, Doucouré, and Garner aren't like a midfield three. I said this the other day. Iwobi, Dwight McNeil, and Damari Gray aren't three players that you would have. They're all just completely different. They don't feed off each other. They just completely don't do that. They don't look like they've got the ability to play with each other. Everton need like a hard reset, and unfortunately relegation might be the hard reset we get. It's not the one we want, but it might be the one we get. And Everton are going to have to move on very quickly from what's going on. It's horrendous, isn't it? It's horrendous, but it's Everton. So I'll be on. In terms of player ratings, obviously they're all getting nothing for this game. So absolutely nothing. Because what can you? I can't single anyone out and go, nobody played well. They were all absolutely shambolic tonight. The manager can say, we weren't. They were, they were rubbish. And I honestly can see people in the comments like, get a grip for what? I'm being very rational here. I'm not shouting, I'm not ranting and raving. Sean Dyche can go at the end of the season. He'll have failed to have done his job, which he's been brought in to do, and that is to save Everton from relegation. And we need new, fresh ideas. And you would only have brought Sean Dyche in for, an emergency, really, isn't it, to keep in the Premier League? And if he fails to do it, then you can't keep him. He's not the answer, is he? Why else would you be keeping him? He's not someone you look at and think, this fella's going to take his places. He's not going to take us anywhere, is he? He's not going to take us anywhere. By the way, I've got nothing against him. I'm going to have anything against him in terms of being a manager or being at Everton. I wasn't asked when he came in. I'm not particularly asked by anybody when they come into Everton, because I don't really have an emotional attachment to anyone at Everton, because what's the point? But I do think we need a plan that doesn't have anyone who is currently on the board, and we need to staff again, and that means getting in a new manager, new players, and proper working with them properly. This fella for me isn't really good enough, and that's it. It's not personal. I couldn't really be asked. I don't really care either way to dislike the fella. I just don't think he's the answer going forward. And he's whoever is the manager next season anyway, if Everton do get relegated, is going to have to work with a whole new set of players anyway. Because number one, half of these players will go because they have to go financially, and the other half will go because they're fucking terrible. They're absolutely, I wouldn't. People like Godfrey, people go, I wouldn't have him anywhere near my Everton team. I wouldn't have the likes of Iwobi anywhere near Everton. Damari Gray, I wouldn't have them anywhere. They're poison. They're just poison. You just watch them and they're just crap. They give it all the big time All that. Oh, bring your pyro and all that. You're joking, aren't you? You're fucking shite. They're just all talk, all waffle. All waffle, that's all they are. So I'd get rid of as many as they can and restart, rebuild. And that's it. Someone in the comments just said, without Dice, this ship sinks. What the ship that he's currently sinking? And Cloud Cuckoo land. Absolute Cloud Cuckoo. No, I think it needs a hard reset. Simple as that. Yeah. There you go. Listen. Terrible. Listen. As I said, I'm not sitting here and I'm not particularly angry. Everton are rubbish. 25 goals. 25 goals all season. That is horrendous. Like, that is horrific. 25 goals. 25 goals, though. Yeah. That's absolutely scandalous. And that is the root cause of our problem. The recruitment in the last few years has been absolutely pathetic. And it's led us to where we are. And that's where the problem starts. As I said, I'm not gonna get like particularly angry. As I said this on Saturday actually about the Palace game. I wasn't again particularly angry because it was like the best those players could do. And that's the way it is, isn't it? That's the way it is. It was the best those players could even do. And I think tonight Newcastle have schooled us, and here we are. 25 goals. Players who are, I don't know, they're just embarrassing, aren't they? They're just embarrassing. It's embarrassing to watch. Embarrassing to watch some of them. And then you've got people like, and this is what, do you know what really cracks me up? I know if I'm going to have a go about the manager, Yerry Mina, who, I don't care what anyone says, still is our best defender. And he's sitting on the bench and he can't get in the team ahead of Michael Keane, who is absolutely rubbish. Michael Keane, what he does is he comes into the team and then he gives everyone a little bit of hope that he's going to be all right, and then he goes back to being terrible because he's not a very good footballer. And that's the top and bottom of it. So we'll have to wait and see. As I said, listen, I'm giving them all and a big fat 0. I can't be arsed sitting here and breaking down because they were just, it's not always, it's just, they're just rubbish. They were just absolutely rubbish tonight. They didn't offer anything, and that was the sad part. That was the real sad part of it. And maybe, you know what, maybe some people do deserve something and others don't, but I just can't be arsed. They're all getting a 0. Anyone who gets to be 4-1 by Newcastle is getting a 0. Including the manager, because Jesus. But Yerry Mina and Nathan Patterson don't get on the pitch for Everton, and they do. Keane does, and Godfrey does it right back. Why is that? What's going on? What's going on that's happening? What's going on that's happening? That's embarrassing as well, though. If you want to pick holes in the manager, that's embarrassing. Setting up to win games of football at home, that's embarrassing to me, that those players can't get a game. So, and I'm not, listen, as I said, I'm not asked if people are like getting on another manager's back. I'm not getting on his back. He's just not good enough. He's not good enough, is he? I think he's proved that. He was like an emergency manager and he's not good enough. His decisions are baffling. The last 4 or 5 games, he's absolutely. He's lost the plot the last few games. So, yeah. If I was really like mad, I'd be going sack him tonight. But I'm not. I'm just saying in the summer, if we're relegated, then for me, you don't carry on with them. It's as simple as that. You just don't carry on with them. You got to get someone new in, and you start again. That's all. That's all it is. It's nothing personal. It's not about getting. It's not about like. It's not. It's not like he's been in the job for 2 months. To me, it was like a short-term thing. Let's see how you get on. If you do all right, you can stay. Well, if he doesn't keep us in the Premier League and we haven't scored barely any goal, 1 win in 10. 1 win in 10. That's poor. That's poor to me. So there you go. As I said, my player ratings is everyone gets 0 because they were absolutely pathetic. I feel sorry for Seamus Coleman, seeing him sitting there, not being able to play, because the players who come in just can't hold a candle to him, because they don't have the desire, the effort, the honesty, anything of someone like Seamus Coleman. And that's what's really sad about it, is that you've got all these players who strut round thinking the boss, doing all their videos, going on podcasts, telling us how boss they are, and they don't do anything on the pitch. Simple as that. They don't do anything on the pitch. So there you go. We'll be back. Be back tomorrow to do the final word, live on Toffee TV Premier. Should be interesting. So let me know your thoughts on the videos. Make sure to check out Baz's videos as well. And I'll catch you all later. See you later.